What's up guys, Perlin here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how you can rent your camera instead of buying it, and also renting versus buying, and the pros and cons of both. So first of all, why would you want to rent a camera instead of buying it? Well, there's a few different reasons. One being you don't know what camera you want yet. I've had this where I've looked at different cameras online, but it's really hard to tell, which ones I really want, which ones I don't, what settings I need or will use, until I actually use the camera out in the field and see what it's like, see if there's things that I like about it, that I don't like about it, and then I make the decision off that. So I've had cameras in the past where I've bought it thinking, yep, this is perfect, then I found out it doesn't have an external mic input, or it doesn't have a time-lapse feature. Another reason you might want to rent is because you don't have the money to buy a camera outright. Cameras are expensive, and so if you're renting it, you can have the camera now while you're renting it or while you're saving up to buy it outright, and you get the use of the camera in the meantime. So this is great, say if you're going on a trip overseas and you really want a good camera to be able to capture this epic trip that you're going on, which might be a once-in-a-lifetime trip, but you don't have the money to buy a camera, well, you can rent it, have the camera for your trip, get awesome photos, and buy it when you get back. Or if you're making money from the camera, so if you're starting a photography business, you could be making money from the camera, which can cover your rental costs while you're saving up to be able to buy a camera or get a different camera or things like that. If you just don't have the capital to buy all of the equipment to start making money from photography, you can rent as an entry-level way to get into that business. And another reason why you might want to rent is if you want the latest and greatest camera. So if you buy a camera and you want to upgrade to the latest, in a year or 2 years, you'll have to sell the camera that you've got to buy the new one. With renting, you could rent for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and then after that rental contract, you can just return it as long as it's not broken and upgrade to the next newest camera. So if you really want to be on the cutting edge of, specs and HD and 4K and 8K and all of these different things, then you can upgrade by renting instead of by buying and selling and buying and selling all the time. So all of this information I'm about to tell you is based on the Australian company Studio 19, which is an Australian company. So if you're in a different country, you'll have to do your own research on similar companies that offer this service. So how does this work? Well, for me, I went onto the Camera House website and I was looking at cameras, and near the Buy Now button, there you'll see the Studio 19 logo and it'll say rent. And so you can rent it for different prices depending on the camera and depending on how much you rent it for. And so you click on that and then you go through the steps of renting your camera. So once you click on, you'll go through the information, you have to put in a bunch of information. It's basically like getting a loan from a bank, but you're getting it from the Camera House type thing. So you have the option to renting for 6 months, 12 months, or 2 years. For me, I wanted to rent the Canon M50 mirrorless camera, which I'm filming this on right now, and that was around $900 brand new. And the rental fee was $56 a month to rent it. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of how much you'll be paying for how much the price of the camera or the lens is. Once you go through the paperwork and get accepted, they'll either send the camera to your house or to a local store for you to pick up, and then you start paying the monthly fee. So for me, it was $56 a month for the $900 M50 Canon mirrorless camera. So a few other things you need to know. The shorter contract you choose, the higher the rental fee. So I chose a 6-month contract, which is the shortest contract, just because I don't like to be held within contracts, and that was $56 a month. If you choose a 12-month or a 2-year plan, you'll be paying less per month because it's sort of guaranteed income for the Studio 16 business model. So anytime within the contract or after the contract's finished, if you're still renting it, you can buy the camera at the depreciated value. So the camera or the lens will depreciate in value every month. So I was paying $56 a month, but the camera was depreciating by about $20 per month. So the more months that went by, the cheaper the camera was if I wanted to buy it. If you do want to buy it, you have to buy it the whole price. So say the camera was at $600 because it's depreciated a bunch, you can't pay off $100 here, $200 there, $300 there off your bill. You have to save up the full $600 and pay that. You can also look at the depreciation value as money off your bill, basically. So if it's depreciating $20 a week, instead of paying $56 a week, I would say I'm paying $36 a week to rent it. But if I want to buy it, I'm buying it at full price. So whatever way you want to look at it. You can also bundle items together and then buy them at different times. So for me, I got the M50 camera. I also got a 22mm prime lens for my M50, which was around $200. So I started renting both of those. Then I saved up the $200 pretty quickly and bought the prime lens, which reduced my monthly rental fee from, I think it was around $70 to around $56. So obviously if you choose to buy the camera outright, that's the end of the contract. You're not going to be paying, more money after that, after you've already bought it. Even if it's like a 6 month contract and you buy the camera after 2 months, then the contract stops there. If you decide you don't want to buy the camera, you can return it after your contract. So if you get a 6 month contract, I could use it for 6 months and then return it as long as it's not broken. So this is a great option if you use the camera and you really don't like it, or there's features missing that you want in a different camera, you can return it. Or if you want to upgrade, you can return it. But for me, I really love the Canon M50 mirrorless camera, so I bought it and very happy with the purchase. And if you are worried about breaking the camera, you can buy insurance as well, which will be an extra monthly fee that you pay on top of your rental fee. So if you know that you want to rent it for your contract and then return it, but you're worrying about breaking it in the meantime and not being able to return it, you can buy insurance for your camera, which will cover it for any breakage or damage or anything like that for an extra fee. So to be sure, if you end up buying the camera, you'll be paying more for the camera than if you just saved up and bought the camera outright. But if you want to test out the camera beforehand, or if you want to use the camera before you've got the money to buy the camera outright, then renting is a really good option for that. For me, it was a great option. One, because I wanted to test out the camera to make sure that it had all the features before I bought it. 2, I didn't have the capital to buy it straight away. 3, I was going on a trip, so I wanted a new upgraded camera for that trip, which was awesome, and I got some amazing photos because of it. Also because I now make money from photography and photography services, so I can cover the cost of rental while still making money off it. So that really worked for me. But make sure that you read all of the contract and it works for you and you're financially able to be in a contract where you're paying that monthly fee every month to have a camera. So I hope all of this information is helpful, and that's it. Go out there, enjoy photography, making videos, getting photos, having a good time. Be sure to leave it a like and comment down below if you have any other questions. But until next time.